The Trump administration is poised to be a powerful ally for the crypto industry. President-elect Donald Trump spoke highly of cryptocurrencies on the campaign trail, and his cabinet picks reflect that. On 60 Minutes, Margaret Brennan spoke with the head of a crypto firm about the incoming administration.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
Before this cycle, in June of 2021, Donald Trump was saying, Bitcoin seems like a scam. Do you understand what happened with that transformation?
I didn't have a front row seat to that. I think it's clear that Donald Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Donald Trump.
Last week, Trump named David Sachs as his White House AI and crypto czar. In a statement, Trump says Sachs will help guide policy on areas, quote, critical to the future of American competitiveness. McKenna Kelly joins me now. She's a senior politics reporter for Wired. McKenna, thank you for being here. What do you know about David Sachs and what will he be doing in this role?
David Sachs is a venture capitalist who has been investing in tech companies for decades at this point. And he does a lot of things. So he has basically become a media figure as well. He hosts the All In podcast where he talks about the economy and politics and whatever he wants to talk about with his VC buddies every week. And he also was one of the first folks who started PayPal. Colloquially, we call it the PayPal Mafia. So long time ago in the 90s, Sachs was working with Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, all of these folks that we've come to learn and have become huge players in politics today.
What is he going to be up against in this role? There are so many challenges, particularly with AI, but also crypto as it continues to grow and people continue to wonder what crypto is.
Sure. So I think the big thing that the crypto industry is looking for in a David Sachs crypto czar would be essentially the opposite of what the Biden administration has been doing. They want someone who will get in and understand. When I talk to people, they know that he understands the industry, they understand Silicon Valley, and he'll be able to guide regulation the direction that it should be going according to the crypto industry.
So has the reaction to his appointment or pick been relatively positive?
It's been really positive. Now, the crypto industry had a lot to be excited about last week. Bitcoin, of course, hit a $100,000 valuation, and then they ended the week with David Sachs being appointed. They're very thrilled. At this point, I just see, everyone being looking to him and understanding that he is someone who will listen to them, already listens to them, and has already been in the industry working this before.
But he's only an advisor, right? So he can only recommend things. I mean, who does he recommend to and who ultimately holds the power? Is it Congress?
Yeah, there's a lot that's still unclear about this role. David Sachs, of course, his Craft Ventures firm, folks from there said that he is doing this as a part-time job. He's not going to be doing it as a full-time job. He's still going to continue investing in companies. So he's not going to be talking to the president every day. But what they want from him, I guess, is, somebody who can be on the bully pulpit and be a positive voice for crypto, especially after 4 years of the Biden administration, where you have someone like SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who has sued a bunch of giant crypto firms, who has gone after them in a more aggressive way. And I think they're hoping to turn down the heat on that.
Interesting. McKenna Kelly, thank you.
Of course.
Good to have you here.